Scorpio, I'm going to ask you a question no one has ever dared to ask. When was the last time you allowed someone to truly love you? Not that superficial love you accept because it's safe. Not those connections you control because you're afraid of getting hurt. I'm talking about the kind of love that scares you precisely because it's too real, too deep, too true. When was the last time you lowered your defenses and let someone see who you really are behind that armor you've built over the years? The truth that will be revealed in this video will shock you because it will expose something you've been denying for a long time. There is someone who loves you exactly as you are, not an edited version of you, not the person you pretend to be, but you, with all your intensity, your shadows, your contradictions, your emotional scars. And this person doesn't care about your age, your past, how many mistakes you've made, or how many times you've rebuilt yourself from the ashes. This person sees all of that and still chooses to love you. But here's what will surprise you. You've been rejecting this love, not consciously, but through your automatic defenses, your fear of vulnerability, your deep-seated belief that you're too difficult to love. You've been pushing away exactly what your soul desires most because a part of you doesn't believe you deserve to be loved in this way. And the time has come for this truth to surface, because if you continue to sabotage this love, you may lose it forever. Are you ready to discover who this person is who has been silently loving you while you pretended not to notice? Scorpio, I know you're used to reading people, perceiving hidden intentions, identifying falsehood from miles away. But this ability, which is your superpower, has also become your prison, because you've become so good at detecting what's false that you've started to doubt even what's true. You've developed such a sensitive radar for lies that now you can no longer recognize the truth when it's right in front of you. This person who truly loves you has been giving you constant signs, but you've interpreted every gesture as manipulation, every kind word as hidden interest, every display of affection as a strategy, because deep down, you don't believe that someone could love you without wanting something in return. Your life experience has taught you that love always comes with conditions, with expectations, with a price to be paid. And now, when someone finally appears offering unconditional love, you can't accept it because it seems too good to be true. But it's real, and the proof is in the consistency. This person didn't give up when you tested their limits. They didn't run away when you showed them your darker sides. They didn't judge you when you revealed your vulnerabilities. They stayed there, steadfast, present, loving you through all your emotional storms. Because true love isn't scared of intensity, it thrives on it. And Scorpio, you are pure intensity. You need someone who can dive into your depths without fear of drowning. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, this person could be someone you recently met, but with whom you've formed a surprisingly deep connection in a short time. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, it could be someone from the past who has returned or who never truly left your life, always lurking on the fringes waiting for you to notice. And for those born between November 13th and 22nd, it could be someone you've always considered just a friend, but who secretly harbors much deeper feelings for you. What all these scenarios have in common is that this person sees through your masks. They know your deepest fears and don't run from them. They understand your complex emotional needs and don't try to simplify them. They accept your need for space and don't turn it into punishment. This person understands that loving you doesn't mean changing you. It means giving you the safe space to be completely yourself. When was the last time you felt truly safe to be vulnerable with someone? The issue of age mentioned in the title is no coincidence. Whether you are older or younger, whether the age difference between you is significant or not, there is an internal belief that it matters, that somehow your age makes you less worthy of love. If you are older, you may believe that your time has passed, that you carry too much baggage, that no one will want to acknowledge your history. If you are younger, You may feel that you are not taken seriously, that your emotions are seen as immature, that you would need more life experience to deserve deep love. But the person who truly loves you doesn't see your age. They see your soul. They don't count the years you've lived. They feel the depth of your being. They don't care how many springs you've seen pass. They care about how you make their heart race. Because true love has no calendar, doesn't obey social expectations, doesn't bow to external judgments. True love simply exists, pure and powerful, regardless of how many times you've circled the sun together. Scorpio, you need to understand something crucial about how your love works. You don't do anything halfway. When you connect with someone, you go deep. When you give yourself completely. When you love with an intensity that can scare more superficial people. And that's precisely why you're so afraid. Because you know that if you let this love in, if you allow yourself to feel what this person awakens in you, there will be no going back. You will be transformed. You will never be the same again. And that's exactly what paralyzes you. You've survived so many painful transformations throughout your life. You've risen from the ashes so many times. You've rebuilt your identity after so much destruction. A part of you is tired of transformations, tired of intensity, tired of feeling everything so deeply. You want peace, but you've confused peace with emotional anesthesia. You've confused protection with isolation. You've confused strength with impermeability. But true peace doesn't come from not feeling. It comes from feeling everything and having someone by your side who understands and embraces that intensity. Real protection doesn't come from never opening up. It comes from opening up to the right person, the one who will honor your vulnerability as the sacred gift that it is. And genuine strength isn't about never needing anyone. It's about having the courage to admit that you need, that you desire, that you yearn for that deep connection your Scorpio soul so desperately needs. Do you have the courage to admit that you're tired of always being in control and that you secretly want to surrender to something bigger than yourself? The person who truly loves you isn't trying to save you. They don't have a hero complex wanting to fix your problems. They don't see you as a project. They simply see you in all your complexity, in all your intensity, in all your dark and profound beauty, and choose to stay. They choose to dive in. They choose to love all parts of you, especially those you try to hide because you think they're too hard to love. And you know what the most beautiful part of all this is? This person doesn't want you to be different. They're not waiting for you to mature more, heal more, become easier, lighter, simpler. They want you exactly as you are now, with your scars still sensitive, with your fears still present, with your defenses still up. Because they understand that these characteristics are part of who you are, and they aren't flaws to be corrected. They are marks of battles you've survived, testaments to your strength. But there is a deadline approaching, not because this person will give up on you, but because you are approaching a point where your own defenses will become an insurmountable barrier. You are building increasingly high walls around your heart, and at some point, those walls will become so high that not even you will be able to get out of them. You will become a prisoner of your own protection. You will receive clear signs of who this person is. You will notice patterns of behavior that you have been ignoring. You will remember moments where demonstrations of true love were happening, but you were too distracted, too defensive, too closed off to notice. Your Scorpio intuition, the same one you use to detect falsehood, will begin to show you the truth you have been avoiding seeing. And when those signs start to appear, you'll have to make a choice. You'll have to decide whether to continue protecting yourself from everything, including true love, or whether you finally have the courage to take the risk again. Because here's the hard truth you need to hear. There is no love without risk. There is no deep connection without vulnerability. There is no transformation without fear. And you, more than any other sign, understand the power of transformation through fear. Scorpio, you've spent so much time being strong for everyone. being the unshakable rock others leaned on, being the one who's always in control, who always knows what to do, who never shows weakness. But all that strength comes at a high price. You've become unreachable. You've placed yourself on a pedestal of self-sufficiency that no one can reach. And now you're alone up there, wondering why no one comes near, when in reality you built your own tower of isolation. The person who truly loves you is willing to climb that tower, willing to overcome your defenses, willing to wait for you to be ready. But they can't wait forever, because no one can eternally love someone who doesn't allow themselves to be loved. At some point, even the purest love tires of knocking on closed doors. At some point, even the most patient person needs to move on to preserve their own emotional sanity. And here's what will break your heart if you let that person go. You'll spend the rest of your life knowing you had the opportunity to be loved exactly as you always wanted, and you chose fear instead of love. You'll live with the memory of having held in your hands what your soul most desired and letting it slip away because you were too busy protecting yourself from what could go wrong, instead of opening yourself up to what could go right. You've had enough losses in life, Scorpio. You've been through enough painful endings. You've rebuilt yourself from the ashes enough times. You don't need to add another regret to the list of what ifs. I'd had the courage. Because this time you know the truth before you lose. This time you're being warned before it's too late. This time you have the chance to choose differently. Will you seize this chance, or will you let your fears decide for you once again? The vulnerability you fear so much is precisely what will set you free. When you finally allow that person to see who you truly are, not the strong version you show to the world, but the human version with doubts, fears, and needs, you will discover that being truly seen is one of the most liberating experiences there is. You have carried the weight of appearing invincible for too long. It's time to allow someone to share that weight with you. And about age, whatever your specific concern may be about that, let me tell you something that will change your perspective. Emotional maturity has nothing to do with how old you are. It has to do with how much depth you've developed, how much self-knowledge you've gained, how much truth you can face about yourself. And in that respect, Scorpio, you are light years ahead of most people, regardless of your chronological age. The person who loves you sees this. They see that you are a deep ocean in a world of shallow pools. They see that you offer depth in a world that celebrates superficiality. They see that you are real in a world of masks, and they choose you not despite these qualities, but precisely because of them, because they too are deep. They too seek the real. They too are tired of shallow connections that don't touch the soul. You two are alike in this respect. Two deep souls searching for a safe harbor where you can be completely authentic without fear of judgment. And you found it in each other, but you're refusing to anchor in that harbor because you're afraid of the storms that might come. But Scorpio, you were born to navigate storms. Your nature is transformative precisely because you're not afraid of the depths. So why are you afraid now? The answer is simple, because this time it really matters. Because you feel that this person has the power to transform you in ways you can't control. Because you recognize in them the potential to reach places no one else has been able to touch you. And that scares you more than anything else, because it means you would have something real to lose. It means you would have to admit that you need them. It means you would have to let go of control and trust. But here's the final revelation. You've already lost control. You've already been transformed by this person, even while keeping your defenses up. They've already reached you in deep places, even while you tried to stop them. You already need them, even while denying it. The only difference is that if you continue to resist, you will experience all the pain of transformation without any of the joy of connection. You will feel all the vulnerability of love without any of the pleasure of being loved. Observe who is consistently present in your life, who seeks you out without expecting anything in return, who accepts you on your bad days without making you feel guilty, who respects your space without punishing you with distance, who challenges you to grow without making you feel inadequate, who truly sees you and doesn't run away from what they see. This person has been silently loving you while you were too busy building defenses. And when you identify who it is, you'll have to do something that goes against all your self-preservation instincts. You'll have to lower your defenses. You'll have to admit that you're afraid. You'll have to confess that you feel it too. You'll have to be vulnerable in a way you've never been before. You'll have to take a leap of faith and trust that this person will catch you when you fall. It's going to be terrifying. It's going to mess with all your control mechanisms. It's going to make you feel exposed in ways you've spent years avoiding, but it's also going to be the most liberating thing you've ever done. Because for the first time in your life, you're going to be loved not for the strong version you project, but for the vulnerable and human person you truly are. And you're going to discover that this vulnerable version is infinitely more worthy of love than the mask of strength you've been wearing. Scorpio, the love you've refused to accept isn't like the loves that hurt you before. It's not manipulative, it's not selfish, it's not conditional. It's the kind of love you always said didn't exist, the kind you used as an excuse to keep your heart closed. And now that it's here, right in front of you, you have no more excuses. You only have one choice to make. This choice will define not only whether you will have this specific relationship, but it will define the type of person you choose to be. It will define whether you are someone who lets fear control your life or someone who has the courage to open themselves up to extraordinary possibilities. It will define whether you die alone by choice, protected but empty, or whether you live fully alongside someone who truly loves you, vulnerable but complete. And about age, stop using it as an excuse. Stop using it as a shield. Stop using it as a reason not to deserve love, because true love doesn't consult birth certificates. It doesn't calculate differences in years. It doesn't care about wrinkles or gray hair or how many birthdays you've celebrated. True love sees the timeless essence that exists within you, that part that never ages because it is pure soul. The person who loves you sees your soul. And your soul, Scorpio, is magnetic, deep, intense, and absolutely irresistible to anyone brave enough to dive into its depths. Stop hiding from them. Stop testing whether they'll stay. Stop creating obstacles to see if they'll overcome them. They've already proven they'll stay. They've already proven they love you. Now it's your turn to prove you have the courage to be loved. Share in the comments if you've kept someone at a distance out of fear. If you've rejected displays of love because you don't believe they're genuine. If you've used your age as an excuse not to open up. Your words can help other Scorpios recognize their own patterns of self-sabotage. Subscribe to this channel because you'll need guidance on how to safely lower your defenses, how to recognize true love when it appears, and how to deal with the vulnerability that comes with allowing yourself to be loved. Turn on notifications to receive messages that will support you in this opening up process. Someone truly loves you, Scorpio. Someone loves you regardless of your age, your past, your scars, or your shadows. Someone loves you not despite who you are, but precisely for who you are. And the only question that remains is, will you finally have the courage to let this love in? Or will you spend the rest of your life protecting yourself from something that could have been the best thing that ever happened to you?